Alright, Mr. Jelta here. I want to make a quick little video showing you why the moon changes its phase. Why it looks like there's different moons. And the easiest way to do it is for me to just use a flashlight, and an orange, because I didn't have anything smaller. Anyways, so the sun does not move in our solar system. It stays put. So we're going to put our sun right here. Alright, now the Earth is going to orbit the sun, but the sun's light will always be hitting the Earth in this direction, basically. Now, why does the moon change? Well, here's our moon. I think the easiest way to understand this is that every object in the sky, whether it's the Earth, the moon, another planet, or in our solar system, any object is going to have light from the sun. Now, if you look at this orange and the light that is hitting it from the flashlight, you will see that basically half of it is lit up, so half of it is bright and half of it is dark. That's because the moon is blocking the sunlight from hitting this side. So this side of the moon will always be dark. Now, the moon does rotate, slowly, but basically one side of the moon will always be dark. So let's look right here. So when we have the Earth and the sun and the moon in the middle, so when it goes Earth, Moon, Sun, or Sun, Moon, Earth, we are going to see a new moon. That means that when we look up at the night sky, the moon will look black or dark. You might be able to see the outline, but it will generally just be black. That is because from Earth, from where we are at, we look into the night sky and we are only seeing this dark side of the moon. We don't see any of the sunlight hitting the moon. We're only looking up at the dark side of the moon. Now, as it rotates around the Earth, let's say it's right here. So this is going to be in a waxing crescent. Now, from our point of view on Earth, we can see a little sliver, a little bit of the lit up side. So if you can picture yourself standing on the Earth, you can see a little bit of the lit up side of the moon. Now, when it rotates around to somewhere like this, if we're looking at the moon from our perspective on Earth, we're going to see that, here, I'll move this a little bit closer, that we're going to be able to see about half of the moon lit up and half of the dark side. This is when we get our quarter moons or our half moons. Now, let's jump forward to full moon. When this happens, and this is where a lot of students have a misconception. They think that when the Earth is between the moon and the sun, that it will cause a new moon, that it will cause us to for the moon to go black. But you got to remember, the moon and the Earth are not in a perfect line. The moon is always either a little bit above or a little bit below the moon. When they do line up in a perfect line, that's when we get an equinox, which is what we'll talk about, or an eclipse, which is what we'll talk about later. But here, you got to think about, this is the perspective that we see the full moon in. And that's because when we are here on the Earth and we are looking up at the moon, we're going to see the entire lit up side of the moon. We're going to see every part of the moon lit up or full. And that's why we see the full moon, because the sun's light is shining on the lit up side, and that is what we are seeing. Now, as it continues to move around, we're going to continue to see the moon from a different perspective, and eventually it's going to end up back here, which is where we're going to see our new moon. I hope that helped. Let me know if you have any questions.